Joining me now, Democratic Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado. He is also a presidential candidate. He has had to fly back from New Hampshire to attend today's events in the Senate chamber. Senator, welcome back. Let me ask you this. What do you want to see accomplished today? We seem to be in a situation where the shouting is over, but you have to finish the trial.
Right. I think, Chuck, we have to find a way in this trial and in the days after this trial to try to reestablish for the American people a standard of what our expectation is of our elected leadership in Washington. We are in a moment in our country's history when we're in a constitutional crisis. The president has completely stonewalled the House of Representatives, and Mitch McConnell is covering up what the president has done. They're going to get out of this trial because they're having a trial with no witnesses and with no evidence. No other court in America could get away with such a thing, and it's unfortunate. But in the days ahead, we're going to have to keep this issue in front of the American people so they really understand what's at stake. And the more stuff comes out, the easier that's going to be to do.
I think I'm up to about a half dozen Republicans who have said what the president did in some form was wrong. In some form, they believe the entire case the Democrats made, whether it's Jerry Moran in Kansas, Lamar Alexander explained, I think, his vote the most. In Tennessee, Marco Rubio in Florida. Obviously, Mitt Romney and Susan Collins have voted a certain way. My point is this. There's a majority of the United States Senate that is uncomfortable with the president's actions in some form or another. Is that something you should formally essentially put on the record via censure?
I think if we can, we should. I mean, again, these folks who are saying now that what the president did was wrong should have voted for witnesses and should have voted for evidence. You know, it's not just what the president did, by the way. It's what the president's advisors did, Mulvaney and these other folks who have not had to answer to the American people because Donald Trump has not allowed a single witness to testify, not a shred of evidence in front of the American people. No president, including Richard Nixon, stonewalled like that. And we can't let these folks hide behind, you know, their phony constitutional claims. That's what the senators, unfortunately, have enabled. And I hope in the days ahead we think of a way to put this on the record. But what's really most important is that, in the end, the facts have got to come out. They should have come out during this Senate trial. We got to make sure they come out after the trial.
You're very thoughtful about the current situation in this country, the sort of the cold civil war at times that we feel like. Do you at all sort of empathize with the comments of Lamar Alexander and Marco Rubio, who both really grounded their decisions in the fear of pouring gasoline on a culture war fire?
I don't think showing the American people the evidence or the facts is pouring gasoline on anything. It's doing our job. It's fulfilling our constitutional responsibility. And I think it's up to the American people to decide what they're going to do with those facts. It's not up to senators to patronize the American people and say somehow they can't handle the facts. The vote last week was not a vote to acquit Donald Trump, although that's obviously the effect of it. The vote was on whether or not the American people were going to have the benefit of this evidence from Bolton and others, and these senators said no. And I think they're going to regret the decision that they made.
What's the impact on the party if a Democratic socialist becomes the front runner?
I think that it's going to make it harder for us, Chuck. I mean, we have got to come together as a party. We didn't in 2016, and we lost to Donald Trump. When I travel Iowa and New Hampshire, what I hear people say is their #1 objective is to beat Donald Trump. And to do that, I think we need somebody who can win not just in deep blue states, but in purple states across the country. I've got an agenda, because I'm from Colorado, that reflects the sentiments of a state that's a third, a third, a third. And I think we'll unify not just the Democrats. Sorry?
Do you think Bernie Sanders can carry Colorado?
I think it's a real challenge. But I'll do everything I can to help him do it, if he's the nominee.
All right. Senator Michael Bennet, what do you need to do in New Hampshire next week to make you feel like you're going to keep going?
Yeah, I got to be in the top 3, I think, Chuck, and we're working hard up there. I wish that I were in Iowa with you today. We just didn't have the resources to compete in that wonderful state. So I'm in the middle of 50 town halls across the state of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I think I got 4 left or something like that. So that's what I think we have to do, and I think that is what we'll do.
All right. Town hall candidates have been rewarded in the past in New Hampshire, so we shall see. Senator Michael Bennet, Democrat from Colorado, stuck back on jury duty again today. Thanks for coming on and sharing your views.
Thanks, Chuck.
Be safe out there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, coming up.